you want a book that is like Once Upon a Broken Heart combined with the Emily Wilde series with a little bit of the Prison Healer, then you need to read The Tales of Arcana Fortune. This story follows Serena Rose, a healer who lives in this fairy tale cottage on the edge of the woods, when a mysterious stranger shows up to her house one day looking for the book The Tales of Arcana Fortune. The two of them go searching for it. When they find it and open it, they actually unleash an evil immortal who ends up cursing Serena to spend 7 nights in 7 different fairy tales. She either has to complete the curse each night, or she has to choose between giving her soul to the immortal or being trapped inside the curse. Also, this whole subplot where fairy is fading because humans are no longer believing in fairy tales, and Serena's family actually wrote down the stories of the Fae that is now passed down to her. So Serena is working with the Fairy Queen to try to save Fairy, and there's even this whole portal in the woods next to her cottage that takes them to multiple lands. So this is where the Emily Wilde vibes come in. I do want to say that this story started out kind of slow, so I was unsure, but when it got to the curses, I was hooked. I thought the whole curses and the stories were done really well. The fairy tales are like The Little Mermaid, Snow White, Beauty and the Beast, Little Red Riding Hood, except it's more like the original tales than the Disney versions. What I loved about the storyline in this is that it is intense without being stressful. So the story is pretty predictable as far as the outcome of the curses, but with that being said, I never once thought that they were boring, especially because each curse is not only a different fairy tale, but the curse itself morphs as it learns Serena's strengths and weaknesses. And so I really liked how even though I was pretty confident that Serena was going to make it out, there were still moments where I was unsure, and it really came down to like the last second. Our main character, Serena, is very much a soft FMC. She has a pink hair, which she dyes so that way she can be like a fairy princess. She loves reading fairy tales. She's hoping for her sort of knight in shining armor to show up one day. She's also very kind, caring, understanding, and helpful to others. But she's also very brave and determined and resilient. She's not afraid to fight back or stand up for what she believes is right. The love interest in this is Grimm, who happens to be the mysterious stranger. He is a fantastic love interest. Once Serena's cursed, he immediately says that he is going to accompany her in every single one of the curses. He is truly devoted to Serena and even says, if I had 100 different lifetimes, I would spend them looking for you. Which brings me to the romance in this. Honestly, the romance in this is very fairy tale like. It is very heavy on the true love's kiss, so it does feel sort of insta love. However, I do think it works in this case because the story itself feels like a fairy tale. Overall, this is a very cozy, whimsical fantasy that I would think would be really good to read in the winter.